and the President.
Yes.
So ikaw ho ba nagplano ng lahat ng ito?
Hindi naman, hindi naman. It was a group effort. Secretary Chidoro was there, Secretary Anyo was there too, and the President and I. So hindi naman ako. Ako lang ang natira last man standing doon sa Malacanang. Kasi Secretary Chidoro was working out of his office sa Camp Aguinaldo. Secretary Anyo, of course, his specialty is intelligence, so he was gathering all the information in his source, in his location. So ako lang ang nasa Malacanang.
Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. It was a swift enforcement of the International Criminal Court's order against former President Rodrigo Duterte. In less than 24 hours, with the help of local authorities, the Interpol was able to serve the arrest warrant against the former president and fly him out of the country to face the ICC at The Hague in the Netherlands. But before he left the country, Duterte's camp wasted no time to convince the Supreme Court to stop the arrest. A commotion ensued prior to the former president's departure. Let's get on point with Interior Secretary Jonvic Remulla. Secretary, good to finally have you on the show. Maraming salamat po sa inyong oras. Okay, there's a lot to talk about. I'm going to start with this because there's supposedly a policewoman, a member of the Special Action Force, that was hit by a cell phone on the forehead. Let's play that video. Maybe you can help us. What happened? Bakit ho ba nagkagulo dito?
I think that was the time that they were informed that he was going to be brought to the plane already. And the weird thing is that she was offered to ride the plane with him.
You're talking about the partner, Hanilet?
Yes, she was offered and she refused. And when he was being asked to go to the plane, she suddenly threw a fit.
Kaya dito po is yun po, yung isa sa miyembro ng SAF ay tinamaan po sa forehead, no?
If you notice, lahat na nakapaligid kay Presidente, babae. We didn't want, ayaw namin na mga lalaki ang pupwersahin siya. Baka kalad ka rin siya kung ganun. Kaya babae talaga ang nakapaligid sa kanya.
Sinadya po yan?
Yes, sadya yun.
How many policemen were deployed in this whole, everything, sir, from the airport to Villamor to Camp Crame?
Oh yeah, it's not as simple as the airport. So in the airport, we had 1,500 men. We didn't want a Ninoy Aquino scenario to occur, so we were very sure of the security. Sa Malacanang, there was another 1,000. In Crame, the usual lang ang Crame, at saka yung veterans. So, veterans had maybe 200.
Veterans dahil?
Just in case that he felt sick, may dadalhin siya kagad doon. So,
and in Villamor, how many were there?
Villamor maybe, kasi contingency airport yan eh. So 2,000 all in all in the air Villamor premises.
I see. So I want to go back to that video, no? So when that happened, nagkabukol po yung SAF na policewoman, and there was also a statement made by the spokesperson of the PNP, General Jean Fajardo, and she said this: lahat ng pagmumura, panlalait, tinanggap ng kapulisan, and they still managed to exercise maximum tolerance with all the policemen and policewomen that were involved in this. Were you happy? Were you satisfied?
Oh yes. Sino man di matutuhan yan?
Yung mga Duterte supporters?
Kasi hindi expect mo na lalaban sila na magkakagulo. But they all followed instructions, maximum tolerance, all courtesy given. They offered them, lahat ng accommodations na hiningi nila, binigay. Anong pagkain gusto nila. Humingi siya ng kama para magpahinga, binigay sa kanya. Aircon naman yung kama. He asked to see his lawyers, dumating naman. So, binigay naman sa kanya lahat ng courtesy.
Okay, when you say that, sir, yung mga abogado niya nasa labas ng Villamor Air Base, ayaw papasukin eh.
Ando doon si
E.S. Medialdea sa loob.
E.S. Medialdea.
Andun din si Attorney Delgra sa loob.
Yes. Yes.
Pero meron pa pong ibang abogado. I guess that's what I wanna find out.
Hindi na pwede yun. There was an operational risk kung papapasok ka ng ibang tao pa. everyone who was with him in his party arriving from Hong Kong were allowed to join him.
Okay, so let's go back to that. Paglapag po niya, sino ho ang sinabing maaaring pumili na sumama sa dating Pangulo sa Villamor Air Base? Who was given authority to say, you can bring this, and this person?
Lahat sila pinayagan. Lahat ng kasama niya sa aeroplano, I think they were a party of 12, if I'm not mistaken. Sumama sa coaster at sumama sa Villamor.
Lahat po yun?
Lahat sila.
Wala pong naiwan?
Walang naiwan.
Okay. And was that the plan from the very
Yes,
beginning?
from the very beginning.
What was, and who was really on top of this? Kayo ho ba? Because during the press conference of the President, it was you and the President.
Yes.
So ikaw ho ba nagplano ng lahat ng ito?
Hindi naman. It was a group effort. Secretary Chidoro was there. Secretary Anyo was there too. And the President and I. So, hindi naman ako. Ako lang ang natira last man standing doon sa Malacanang. Kasi Secretary Chidoro was working out of his office sa Camp Aguinaldo. Secretary Anyo, of course, his specialty is intelligence. So, he was gathering all the information in his source, in his location. So, ako lang ang nasa Malacanang.
Was it a little odd or hard, I guess, for Secretary Anyo, sir? Knowing that, of course, he was
I think so.
part of the
I
Duterte
think
administration.
he still shares some affection for the former president. They had a very good working relationship. But he's a professional, he is a soldier, and he's a gentleman. So he served this role, and the information that he gathered and shared was very reliable. And
Such as? Or is there anything you can share?
The conversations on whether or not they would go home. I think the lawyers were prevailing for him to stay in Hong Kong or in China, and the children prevailed on him to go home.
Ibig sabihin, yung mga lawyers po sinasabi kay dating Pangulong Duterte.
Parang gano'n ang lumalabas sa mga sources.
Sources from Secretary Anyo?
Sources ni Secretary Anyo.
Opo. And he relayed that to the core team. So the core
Yes.
team is the President, yourself, Secretary Anyo, Secretary Teodoro, and
The President.
kayo lang. So you kept it very small.
Very small.
And it
Yes.
was meant to be that way.
Yes, you cannot plan an operation like this and involve too many people.
Okay. Was it also, siguro, parte ho ba talaga ng plano na not to give the media any information? Because nobody really was talking to the media during that day.
Yes, that was deliberate on our part. When you plan something like this, you cannot have any loose ends. So we made sure that, number one, that all the officers that you saw were wearing body cameras. So may resibo lahat ng ginagawa. We made sure that CCTVs were on. We made sure that everything was recorded. We made sure that when he was being questioned or asked of anything, it was recorded. So, if anything happened, may resibo lahat ng ginawa namin.
Kasi ang lumalabas po, Secretary, ang nakikita po naming video mostly during that time was coming from the camp of the former president,
Yes.
specifically his daughter, Kitty.
Yes.
We were getting a lot of, video from her. And nothing really from any one of you guys. So sinadya nyo po yan, pero sinasabi nyo, may body cam, lahat ng CCTV bukas, just in case may problema, meron po kayong
Yes.
maipapakita sa taong bayan, ganon.
Because there was nothing to say. We had a statement that he was in our custody. He's in good health. And what else can you say? Wala ka nang masasabi pa eh. So, we stuck to that. And
But you purposely kept him away from media.
Yes, we did.
You did not want media to see him
Yes,
being...
the optics would have driven the emotions of this country into different levels. They would have played into the drama, and it would not have been good. There was a picture of him naka-oxygen mask.
Right.
But
right.
it wasn't attached to the oxygen tank.
Is that so? Yung nakahiga po siya?
If you look at the picture closely, hindi siya naka-attach sa oxygen tank. So you see what they're capable of.
So why was there an oxygen tank there to begin with that meron pong ganon? That was in Villamor, wasn't it?
It was standard operating procedure. Basta may elderly ka, may oxygen.
So
Kasi naka-wheelchair siya.
Opo. So are you telling me that kinabit lang po yun doon tapos pinicturean?
Oo. Well, kung titignan mo talaga yung picture, hindi nakakabit.
Hindi ko po na kilatis ng mabuti yung
Kita mo
photo.
nakapalipit nakapalupot ng ganon, pero hindi nakakabit sa...
I see.
So there's a certain amount of flair that they have for the dramatics, and we knew that it would get inflammatory kung may media. So I think it worked out better that there was silence from us and there was
From the
no media
government
presence, yeah.
and...
But we wanted to be fair. We recorded everything. We didn't scrub anything. And if asked to present, papakita naman lahat.
Meron ho ba kayong pwedeng ipakita sa amin? I mean, in the next couple of days,
Yeah,
sir,
I think PCO should
release
it.
something.
Yeah,
No?
yeah. But it's boring It's
Mahaba po yung
11
usapan.
hours.
Apo, yun na nga po
11 hours, wala ka makikita kundi nakaupo, he had one rant, kumain, humiga, gusto ko makausap ang abogado ko.
Were you surprised that the former president didn't really
I was.
put up much of a fight?
I was. Kala ko away talaga to, kaya babae na nga nilagay namin doon para walang suntukan di ba? So, yeah, he was actually a gentleman the entire time. Mas galit pa yung mga anak niya at asawa niya kaysa sarili niya.
Yeah. But that is understandable. Kung
Yes, that's why we did.
ng tatay mo,
The
asawa
instructions
mo.
were not to get the phone of Kitty. Kasi tatay niya yun She would want to record all of that.
Yeah.
And it was better for her na ma-record niya lahat yan.
At yung pulis ho talaga, gaya ng sabi ni General Fajardo, lahat ho ng pandalait at
Ay,
pagmumura
grabe.
nilang natanggap. Oo.
Grabe talaga. Pero sanay na naman, we expected that from the Dutertes.
And siguro before we go on a break, si General Torre, nakatikim din ng mura.
Oh.
Di ho ba? Pero parang wala lang siya narinig. Ganun.
Tinamanan niya lang.
Because
Sabi
there
niya,
was...
kumapal na yung mukha niya sa ganun So, okay na siya.
So sabi nga niya, what was he saying during that time nung dadalhin na po sana ang Pangulo doon sa aeroplano? There's an easy way or a hard way? Yun pong sinabi niya, hindi ho ba? And the easy way would have been sumama kayo. And the hard way would have been?
Drag him out.
We'll drag you out. We'll be taking a very short break. Stay tuned. This is On Point.
Para sa pag-uswag kan mga Bicolano, kaipuhan ibalik ang Bicol Express. Kaipuhan na sing tibay, sing rikas ng bullet train gikat sa Japan. Bullet train para sa Bicol, ang programa kan Bicol Saro na mataong kaugmahan sa pamilyang Bicolano. Kafuerting proyekto kan Bicol Saro para sa pinakamarikas na Bicol Express. Bicol to Quezon in just 1 hour.
Bicol to Manila in just 3 hours. Bicol Saro, ang party list na magtataon ng progreso para sa mga Bicolano.
Magandang gabi, ako po si Pinky Webb.
At ako naman si Corina Sanchez Rojas.
Kombinasyong Corina Sanchez Rojas at Pinky Webb. Dalawang mamamahayag na subok sa tapang at talino.
Simulcast tayo sa DWAR, Abante Radyo at 94.7 Mellow BFM.
Mapapanood din tayo sa Abante Teletabloid sa Sky Cable. Sa bawat issue may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
Welcome back. You're watching On Point. Still with us, Interior Secretary Jonvic Remulla. Sir, just very quickly, itong red notice, itong arrest warrant, can you quickly explain this to us? Dahil nung una ata, red notice ang ipinakita. Tama ho ba yun? Tapos pagdating ng Villamor, yung arrest warrant, would that be correct?
Yes. The red notice came at 3 a.m. Tuesday morning. I received it 3 a.m. Actually, General Marbil and PCTC received it, forwarded to me, and I forwarded it to the President. But the President woke up at 6:30. Then he said, okay, set the wheels into motion. So we deployed everyone. Then I was in the palace by 9 a.m.
But you've been ready since when?
Since Monday.
Not even Sunday?
No, because we didn't know.
Even if Senator Sonny Trillanes was saying that
That's the problem. There is the President and the entire government had no contact with the ICC. Senator Trillanes
Is that a fact, sir?
It's a fact. It's a fact. There is no back channel. There is none. It is only Senator Trillanes and I forgot this lady, Conti yata last
Attorney
name?
Conti.
I think they were the
Christina
only
Conti.
ones. So we had no formal direct communication. And so, to me at least, I thought it was all conjecture. Because
Matagal na rin kasi pinag-uusapan that
Tagal
an arrest warrant was forthcoming. But then, of course, that question on, or suspicion, sir, when the former president went to Hong Kong, doon mas umugong po yung balita.
Yes, because apparently the arrest warrant was signed
March 7.
March 7. I think kumakalat na. But again, nobody saw it.
But you saw it, you said, that Tuesday
Yes.
at 3 in the
a.m.
morning.
Yes.
And then you set the wheels in motion. So, red notice po yung unang ipinakita, tama ho ba sa airplano?
Notice of, hindi siya. Ang red notice is extreme urgency.
Okay,
Ang pinadala is notice warrant of
Arrest.
notice of warrant of arrest.
okay. And then, pinakita ho ba yun sa airplano pa lang? O paglabas
Yes,
po niya? Pinakita na.
He was informed by PCTC head Alcantara, and he obliged. When he exited, for the Prosecutor General read his rights, and he said that he understood.
But his rights were read in Villamor.
I'm not
wasn't
sure
it?
about the exact timeline.
Okay.
I think it was on the tube or
Was it
outside
in
the
the
tube.
tube?
Yeah, I think outside. He was met outside the tube. Yes.
And the Miranda rights were,
They
were read
ran the
to
rights,
him.
and he acknowledged that he understood.
I see.
And then sumama siya willingly to Villamor.
Pero yun po talaga ang plano. Villamor ho talaga siya
Yes,
dadalhin.
Villamor talaga.
Bakit?
It was the most secure place, the most easy to contain, hard to access for everyone else, small entrance, and it was beside the plane that was going to be used to extract him out of the Philippines.
Because you said you found out about this at Tuesday 3 a.m. and the jet was ready. At what time?
11
A.m.
a.m.
How fast was it for the government to secure a
No,
jet?
the funny part was, Monday when we were planning to use the old Malacanang jet, the Hawker 125, which would have taken 8 stops and 27 hours to get to the Netherlands.
Because of refueling.
Yes, because of refueling issues. So someone had mentioned that we had the president has leased ours on a G550. And they said, why don't we use that? And then
What does that mean, leased hours on a...
the president, the Philippines doesn't own a G550, so you buy ours on the plane. So when the president has short trips abroad, they use that plane.
Aha. Kumbaga nirerentahan.
Nirenta lang,
And this was rented?
Yes, rented.
To the tune, how much? How
I
much
don't
did government
know.
have to pay?
I'm not privy to the details of how much plane rentals are.
So, because there are reports that so-and-so actually owns this plane, sino hong may-ari ng
I
aeroplano?
didn't see. All I saw was it's a BVI company, and it was there. So I've never ridden that plane before, so hindi ko talaga alam kung sino may-ari.
No politician, no businessman?
I don't think so.
Well, surely a businessman because if it's being rented
yeah,
out, right?
probably, yeah, yeah.
Pero hindi po may kinalaman sa politika. Sir, bakit po nagtagal ng ganon? When he was there at 11 a.m. and he left at 11 p.m.?
I can give you the political answer. I'll give you the real answer.
Give me the real one, sir. Okay.
When you fly international, you have to get overland rights to fly over the countries. That means you have to get Vietnam, Thailand, Myanmar, India, Oman, UAE, Cairo, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and then European Union. So 9 permission, and it's a cascade. Vietnam has to say yes first, then Thailand.
Siyempre.
Because they won't give you if they don't have an overflight from the other countries.
Right, right.
So it usually takes you a week to do that. We had to do it in 7 hours.
And that's the reason why nagtagal
Yes,
po.
that's the reason. That's how unprepared we were.
That's why I was just about to say, because if that's what you're telling me, then it makes one assume that you weren't really prepared to fly him out that
No, we had
day.
plans with another plane.
Yun na nga po, but it would have taken so many
But
hours
it ended
and
up
so many...
25 hours either way.
Okay. Let's talk about his arrest. It's unlawful, according to the supporters of the president, for a number of reasons, and let me identify them. No lawyer was even allowed to meet him and question the legality basis of that arrest. Please reply to that. Hindi niyo pinayagan siya na i-meet ng abogado para makita po itong arrest warrant to see its legality.
Secretary Medaldea was there. He's a lawyer. The other fellow there was a lawyer too. They examined it. The president read it, and he said in Bisaya, I think you can translate, wala na, tama to, totoo to.
Sinabi po niya
Sinabi
yan?
niya.
I see. So, that cannot be used as...
No, he was not denied any rights at all.
What
In fact, they filed in the Supreme Court and the president didn't stop it from happening. He just let it go, take its course, and tuloy-tuloy lang.
Did you ever think twice about the fact that he was supposed to be in Cardinal Santos or a hospital the next day for some
We
procedure?
We didn't know that. In fact, we asked the wife, and it's on video, may sakit ba ho asawa nyo? Tahimik. May gamot ba ho siyang kailangan? Tahimik. Ano ba ang kailangan? May allergy ba siya? Tahimik. Ano ba ang kinakain niya? Tahimik. So we tried to extract the information. Ayaw eh.
Hindi po nila sinabi that he was set to...
There was no... We asked all the questions. We didn't get any
Who
answers.
specifically asked those questions?
Miss Abansenia was asked.
Oh no, who among...
Nick Torre asked.
General
asked her,
Torre.
yeah. General
Siya po
Torre asked her.
nagtanong? Okay.
Tinanong talaga lahat.
So, hindi po nila sinabi na, kailangan niyang... Wala po sila sinabing gano'n.
If
Kasi
they said
meron pong lumabas na order
if they
doctor's
said
order.
so, wala. If we said so, we would have brought him to the hospital. Wala. We had doctors examine him. They said he was clear to fly. Tinanong namin kung may sakit, ayaw sumagot. So, we were at a loss kung ano talaga nangyayari.
Why do you think they refused to answer? Was it because it was General Torre?
No, I think they were at a state of shock of what was happening. And they were afraid. So, we tried to be courteous. We tried to be fair and civil to them. If you notice, no one raised their voice except the other side. The only sense of trepidation would have come from General Torre saying, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Otherwise...
Wala ho kayang naglakas ng boses sa parte ng gobyerno kasi alam niyong you were also being recorded?
No, the instructions were
Maximum
tolerance.
Another follow-up on the Villamor, sir. Why weren't the other lawyers allowed to enter, and the Vice President, and Senator Bongo?
It was a secured perimeter unless they had a court order for them to enter, then we would have let them come in. But there was none. So the rights were read, the warrants were shown. Attorney Medodea was shown the copy. In fact, they took a picture and it was the basis of their, if I'm not mistaken, their petition in the Supreme Court. Yes.
Opo. Pag sinabi ho kasi talaga na hindi pinayagan yung mga abogado makapasok, ang sagot niyo po dyan is that the former ES was there and he's a lawyer.
And the president is a lawyer as well.
Yeah. But
yes.
I guess the question is, kailangan ho bang may formal representation na lawyer?
In an arrest, hindi naman. In an arrest, hindi. In Interpol rules, as long as the warrant is legal, then you can.
So how do you feel when they keep saying that due process was not followed? That his rights were not respected? At nakakaawa po yung ginawa.
Totoo yung nakakaawa kasi matanda na eh. Kaya nga all kid gloves were used in handling him. Nakakaawa naman talaga. If you see an 80-year-old man, or about to turn 80 this March 28, in a wheelchair, it is hard not to feel empathy for the man. But there is also the rule of law that must be upheld. And we chose that over the empathy which was needed from us.
What about the petitions filed before the Supreme Court? I understand you're in one of them, or maybe even two.
First time in my life. It's
kasi kayo po, DILG Sec. So
Yes.
who answers that? Is that you, or is that going to be on the Solgen on behalf of everyone?
Solgen on behalf of everyone.
I see. The Solgen, Menardo Guevara, who was also the DOJ secretary during the
Yes.
Duterte administration.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Have you, has he consulted with you to
Not yet.
answer that petition?
Not
Because I
yet.
think you're being asked to respond in 10 days, if I'm not mistaken.
Not yet. I think I've been too busy to do anything else, but not yet.
Were there any surprises during this whole operation, sir, that was
Yes.
planned?
Yes.
Could you tell us?
He was more gentle than we thought. Because yung si dating Pangulo, malakas ang dating niya eh. Malakas ang aura niya eh. Tignan ka lang niya, matatakot ka na eh. Pero banda doon siya, parang nasa tindahan lang. Nakipagkwentuhan, nakaupo doon, kakain, higa. Wala siya minumura. Wala. If you see all the tapes, wala siya minumura kahit
He
isang
never,
tao.
no? He didn't
Wala.
cuss.
Wala. There was one chance na sinabi niyang illegal to, illegal to, illegal to. But other than that,
Pero nung sinabi lang ni dating Pangulo na patayin niyo na lang ako kesa sumama ako sa inyo.
okay, he
Was
also
that a tense moment as well?
that was okay. We knew that it wouldn't happen. But he also said during the Senate hearings that iniintay ko na nga kunin ako eh, sasama naman ako eh. Sinabi niya rin yun eh.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Okay.
So we can't take everything that he says as a statement of fact.
What about, sir, na sabi po ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, tinraidor sila ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Why? Because he says, I remember, sabi po niya, alam ko, naalala ko, nag-usap kami, at sinabi ni Pangulong Marcos na hindi siya makikipag-cooperate sa ICC at baka siya pang isunod. Tapos ngayon, ito po ang ginawa.
I was not there. I was not
Yeah,
there.
you were not SILG chief back
I was
then.
not that, and I was only a candidate for governor. I think when those conversations took place, so I was not privy to the conversation, so I cannot validate it either. So I think that's a conversation between the president and himself. So I cannot comment on it.
Now that the president is in The Hague, the vice president also there, the son also Congressman Paolo Duterte also there. What exactly is the role of government now? Is the role of government to protect the drug war victims? Is it to assist the former president in any way? Exactly what is the role?
It ended with this arrest.
Okay.
After that, it is up to him to defend himself and to face the reparations that the ICC could possibly sanction him upon. The government is not part of the ICC. We are not part of the legal counsel. We have not assisted in any way in the investigation. We have not revealed any documents. Not one single officer of the Philippine government dealt with them directly or indirectly.
But they surely, I'm assuming, sir, they certainly got some testimonies or even documents from the Quadcom hearing.
From the Quadcom hearing, yes.
Which is the legislative branch of
Yes.
government. So
And
you're talking
that-
about the executive.
Yeah,
na
we're
hindi
talking about
nakapag-
executive, yes.
Okay.
And the Quadcom hearings were public documents. They were on TV, there were sworn statements, so you didn't really need to dig deep. It was there, it was in public.
Could you help us understand this? Because while the president was saying, and even your brother, Secretary Boying Remulla was saying that we're not going to cooperate with the ICC.
We didn't.
But if the Interpol comes in, wala
Yes.
tayong choice. Sino ho ba ang mag-uutos sa Interpol? Hindi ho ba ICC?
Yes.
That's a little puzzling for me.
Yes.
Hindi tayo makikipag-cooperate sa ICC, pero pag pumasok ang Interpol, mukhang wala na tayong choice. Ang ICC naman ho talaga pupunta sa Interpol eh. It's almost like saying,
But the Interpol's function is not only with the ICC.
right.
It is a wide-reaching treaty with 180 countries
That we are a part of.
that we are a part of. The US is not part of it, China is not part of it, several countries are not part of it, but we are a part of it. So, in fact, last January, we arrested one Filipino and one Jordanian upon the warrant issued by UAE. So it's the same process. We arrested them. There was no lawyer. We repatriated them.
Lumalabas ho kasi, I remember an interview with the Senator Bato de la Rosa, he was saying na parang, in Tagalog, parang it's a cop-out. Parang
Well-
mahina yung ganong argumento na wala tayong choice eh. Kailangan
Yes.
tayo makipagtulungan sa Interpol kasi tayo din humihingi ng tulong sa kanila eh.
Totoo naman yun. I understand why he says that. Because he is macho yun eh. Diba? Naghahanap ng gusto niya very clear ang lines. But to me, the lines are clear too. We are part of a treaty. And the treaty says that if they ask for help, we shall oblige.
What happens to, are you preparing for a possible Senator Bato de la Rosa arrest, sir?
No,
Maghahanda
no,
ho ba
we're
kayo
not,
doon?
We're not. There is no information to that effect. There is no instructions to that effect. So, walang preparations.
Hypothetically, sir, because
I don't answer hypotheticals. Don't put me there.
Hindi po kasi sabi po ni Senator Bato, kinausap na niya si SP Cheese sakaling magkaroon ng arrest warrant kung pwedeng maiwan muna siya under the custody, something like that, no? Maiwan muna sa Senado, pending petitions before the Supreme Court. And he said, I hope that the executive respects that. What do you think? Do you think that's something that the executive will
cross
respect?
it when it gets there. I don't know. I don't know how to answer these things. Because, number one, I'm not a lawyer. I head the police force, but it's the first time that this country has dealt with the ICC. It's never happened before. Nobody has experience. Everyone here is theoretical in their knowledge about the proceedings of the ICC. So, to call me in as an expert and to give a definitive answer would be unfair on my part to answer also.
Last question, sir. How would you describe that whole day and the operation and how it was carried out?
It was described as surgical and precise, but they didn't see the chaos inside the palace. We didn't know what we were doing. It was on the fly. We didn't know about the overland permits. We had prepared his detention. Everything else was on the fly and deciding.
And I'm sorry, again, just to follow up on what you said. Dahil nung press conference po, ikaw lang po, si Pangulo, kayo at si Secretary J. Ruiz lang po ang humarap sa media. What did the President tell you after? I mean, you spoke. The President spoke nung ano na po, in flight na po, lumipad na po yung airplano ni dating Pangulo, nalulan si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. What did he tell you?
His exact words were, there's no reason to be happy. There's no reason to celebrate. Those were his exact words.
And how did you feel when he said that?
I think he remembers, he remembered the days of 39 years ago when they whisked him out of the palace. And I think he felt a sense of deja vu or a sense of trepidation in him that something that happened to him, he's doing to someone else. He really didn't want to do it. You saw his voice during the press con. He was very tentative. He really didn't want to do it. It just thrust upon him. He's a gentle, very gentle person. And it's not his nature to do these things.
And he did it because?
He did it because he had to uphold the rule of law.
Thank you so much to DILG Secretary Jonvic Remulla. Sir, thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
That's On Point. Join us again tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.